What's up? This is Trenius Henderson, and you're on the infamous Living Room Network. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I got something real inspiring I want to, share with y'all, whatever, about weed, marijuana, ganja, reefer, green, perp, whatever you want to call it, man. I used to smoke weed, and at the end of the day, it just wasn't for me. It's not my preference anymore, but it may be other people's preference. But this to whomever it may concern, maybe my story, leads you in another direction, or maybe it won't. Maybe you'll just be thrilled for the simple fact that I smoke weed. But anyway, yeah, I started smoking weed in college, man, and um, I was just a young guy who had a little bit of money to spare, and so, you know, I would just start buying weed from friends of mine. I was always meeting new friends in school and whatnot, and 9 times out of 10, the people that I was becoming friends with sold weed. Like around the time I was going to college or whatever, that's when a lot of people sold weed. Like it was just, you could be on a corner and find somebody who is selling weed. No matter where you were, you could be in a grocery store and just run into somebody to sell weed. So I just had like all these friends who sold weed, and so here I was spending all my money on it, and it got worse. It got worse because I started wanting to be with the in crowd more, and that consisted of smoking more weed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like every time you went to a party, they smoking weed. Every time you ride in the car with one of your homeboys, he's smoking weed. Before you go to the mall, you gotta smoke weed. Before you go out to the club that night, you have to hit the blunt. You have to smoke weed. You have to be high 24/7. If you're not high when you got a female in your presence, then you don't feel good about yourself. And so I just got real wrapped up in like, smoking it to the point that I was like spending $20 on dubs. And if y'all don't know what, weed terms or whatever, a dub is a $20 sack of weed, like the biggest one you can buy. No, I think a pound is like the biggest one you can buy, but I was buying little dubs. A dub is bigger than a dime bag or sack or what they call a nick. Nick is $5, dime is $10, a dub is $20. So I got to the point where I was just shooting the plug, the person who sells the weed, like $20 every other day, like boom, 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 and I was smoking heavily, man. I was smoking with females, and I was sharing it with my friend guys and stuff like that, man. I had to have a bag of weed in my pocket. If I didn't have a bag of weed in my pocket, and if I wasn't rolling up, every other hour, I didn't feel right about myself, and so, it just really got out of hand, to the point that I just realized, like, dang, I'm spending all my money, because I got to a point where I started to be a little bit broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were times in my life where I just didn't have a job. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I did. And I know I didn't want to go down the path of me selling the green. You know what I'm saying? Because, when I say green, I mean weed. Because that's just not. I'm not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, man, I just got to stop spending all my money on this weed. You know. And that's what made me cut back from the jump. That I started to cut back smoking because I just stopped spending so much money on it. You know what I mean? Well, I wanted to stop spending so much money on it, and after that, I started to come back to myself because I wasn't smoking weed like I normally did all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that allowed me to think more rather than just go with the flow. Like when you high and you smoke weed all the time, it really don't give you a lot of time to really just, think logically, because you always thinking like, you just going with the flow of how things go. Like you really don't have a lot of emotions about stuff and stuff like that. You can't really feel, a lot of things. It's a weird feeling when you high, man. I mean, anybody that smoke weed, y'all know it's just like you too cool, calm, and collective. You too relaxed to the point it's just like you just miss a lot of stuff that you could think about logically and actually rationalize, why you doing this or why you doing that. And so when I wasn't buying it like I used to, it allowed me to think more. And so the more I began to think more, the more I began to just realize that I didn't really need it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what brought me kind of back to myself, where I was just like, okay, let me drink some alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Or, so I just you know, I was, of course, when you smoking the weed, you gotta have the alcohol. So I was already drinking alcohol, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like it just helped me eliminate a problem that that was always hindering me, which was spending money on weed, always being high, just being carefree, too careless about life, just letting life pass me by because I was just too relaxed. I was always laying back at the couch, just chilling with some girls or something like that, just on some other stuff, man. And so, um, not to say that anybody that smoke weed is just like that. Everybody's different, you know. This is just my story of how I stopped smoking weed. But yeah, it just got to a point where um, if I did go back to smoking it more than often, I wouldn't have the tolerance to. I didn't want to do it anymore like I used to because the taste had already wore off me, and it's like I didn't have a desire for it no more. It's just like, okay, I did that, and I smoked all the different kind of weeds they got out there. So I mean, I just hit the blunt again, like, okay, I'm high. It's kind of like this feeling you get when you just stop smoking cigarettes. Cause I used to smoke cigarettes too. You know what I'm saying? And every blue moon, I would go back to smoking one. Like, but every time I would smoke it, it would just make me feel real dizzy. Like, whoa, like I'm just way too higher than normal, and I don't like this. So it's like the same thing with weed. You know, weed. Every time I would smoke it, I just wouldn't like it no more like I used to because I had already weaned myself off of it. So that's with anything. Like, if you cut back on anything, if you keep cutting back on it, you can just keep telling yourself, you know what I mean, I don't want to do it no more, whatever. You keep cutting back on it, you're gonna get to a point where you find stuff to fill in for the moments you used to do it. And then once you don't got no space to do it no more, no time to do it no more, you don't really want to do it no more. And then when you do it, you don't even like it no more. So that's like how I started smoking weed, man. It wasn't nothing complicated. It's just that I just I just prefer to um, want to be in control of myself more often. You know what I'm saying? Like I matured on my journey of smoking weed, and I just didn't like the simple fact that a substance was always keeping me under its control. Because not that I'm a controlling person, but it's just that I began to feel like, I mean, the human body don't need nothing to enhance it, because it's already a great concept already, But it is weed, alcohol, any type of drug. It is a stimulant, you know. Stimulants are stimulants, stuff that people do, and they spare the moment or whatever, cool, calm, and collective, whatever, chill out, hang out, go out, play. That's cool. That's absolutely fine. But it should never get to a point, I believe, that you can't control it to the point that you're doing it all the time and then you're like abusing it, uh, you know, thinking that it's something that you have to have in order to function as a person. So I didn't believe that I needed weed in order to keep myself functioning as a person, or I didn't believe that I needed it every day, like it's my medicine, or like it's just something that I have to have in order to be great, in order to be Trenius, in order to feel good about myself. I had to have the weed. Like I didn't think like that. I don't think like that. I think that I'm good without it or with it. You know what I'm saying? So even if I did smoke it, I'm good. Even if I stop smoking it, I don't need it. So that's just how I stopped smoking weed, man. I hope y'all was inspired by that. I hope that resonated with some of y'all. I'm Trenius Henderson. This is the infamous Living Room Network. Divine powers are always working for us because we're trying to do right. Please visit my website, www.thelivingrim.org, or just, click on this YouTube video and go down to the bottom in the description section and just get linked up. Speak up, let your voice be known. I'll see y'all next time. Trenius Henderson, the Living Room Network. Peace.